What does it mean to be infected with the coronavirus again? We heard recently about the possibility of infection with coronavirus again. But what does this mean, and is it the same first effect? Scientists in Hong Kong reported the first diagnosed case of being infected with the coronavirus a second time, as a 33-year-old man was infected with the coronavirus for the first time in March and the second time in August of 2020, and the specialists attached the genetic sequences of the virus to the two infections. It is natural for people to feel anxious about this topic, which they think will reduce the chances of getting rid of the pandemic, but on the contrary, the news is reassuring. What does it mean to be infected with the coronavirus again? Scientists believe that the period of immunity from the virus ranges between 8 and 9 months, and after that there is a low chance of infection again, although infection with the coronavirus a second time is very common. Scientists are working hard to determine the actual duration of immunity acquired after recovery from the virus. Reports about a second coronavirus infection were not supported by genetic sequences of the virus in the past, which reduces their validity, but the second infection is expected and there is no need for concern. Our bodies do not become immune to viruses after recovery from infection, but the recovered person becomes inhospitable. Bear in mind that the cells of our body that the virus is attached to and multiplied depending on them are still present and targeted, and the virus can control these cells again, and immunity does not control after several months of recovery are available for the target cells, so the possibility of reinfection is present. There are 3 possibilities for a second infection with a virus for people who have recovered. The first possibility is that the symptoms are more severe and the patient's condition worsens, and the second possibility is that the patient suffers the same symptoms that he suffered in the first infection, and the third possibility is that the symptoms significantly lessen or disappear completely. The first possibility is known as the improvement of the disease, and it occurs when a patient is infected with 2 identical strains of the virus, as in dengue fever, but so far this has not been observed in patients with coronavirus. In the second possibility, the patient suffers the same symptoms both times, and the reason is often the patient's loss of memory cells or T cells, meaning loss of immune memory to prevent infection again, and this often occurs if the body does not use antibodies and T cells to eliminate the virus and replace it with other immune defenses. The third possibility is the occurrence of infection, but in a very mild form, thanks to the health of the immune system, which produced antibodies, and the response of T and B cells that lasted long enough even at the second infection. This is the significance of the effectiveness and duration of herd immunity, which depends on the world's access to the largest number of recovered and immune from infection with the virus again, and this is what will protect the vulnerable, so vaccination against disease is of great importance to stimulate the immune response in the long term.